So, you are all really welcome to Digi4Adults final webinar. Our project is about to end of this month, and this is one of our most important meetings during this month because we have now results of our open call. We will have 5 really interesting caselets from our open call, and of course we will announce the winner, and then we will have some time for discussion about production of caselets, results and lessons learned from our project. And I hope you all have had chance to visit our website at some point. Shortly about our project, there are five partners. So I'm Henriikka Ahvenjärvi from TAC Tampere Adult Education Center from Finland, and I'm the coordinator of this project. Then we have partners from Austria, BFI Wien, Denmark, VUX Storström, Sweden, Sundsvalls Kommun Adult Education in Sundsvall, and SEPA San Bartolomé de Tirajana, Spain. So it has been really interesting to work in this transnational project, and I hope today we can share some ideas, what we have learned, and also discuss about the production of our caselets, the teaching methods we have gathered during this project and published in our website. So this is what our project is about. We are developing teaching methods and also doing it as peer pairs, and we have learned about working in international atmosphere about teaching. We have learned about developing methods and developing digital skills, both for teachers and also for students. So many angles in our project for all the way. And everything, all the data from our project is gathered to our website and will be still published during November. So we hope you will follow our website also during this month. So as part of our open call, we had this competition, and we got really interesting ideas and submitted caselets about teaching methods that use some digital tools for developing digital skills as part of learning subject content. For example, learning mathematics or writing or expressing oneself by speaking or something else. So there are really interesting caselets coming on right now, and I will start with 2 caselets that these authors didn't have a chance to join us today, but I will talk about their caselets and present them as well as I can. And we also have, of course, possibility to discuss, for example, in our blog page about these caselets too after our webinar. So the first caselet in the 5 finalist groups, they are all found in our blog. So we have these open call finalists. And the first is from Finland, from Sanna Laine. She's a teacher in Valkeakoski Vocational College. And her caselet is about using Padlet in mathematics. And the idea is that students create a Padlet bulletin board as group work to help learning basics in mathematics. And the educational context is with cookery students, and the mathematics lessons are integrated to vocational studies. So they don't just learn about mathematics by sitting in a classroom, but they do it at the same time that they are studying their vocational studies in the kitchen, for example. And Sanna told me that these students were quite quiet at first. It was not so easy for them to use digital tools. But nowadays, after this was the first experiment about 9 months ago, nowadays the students are using Padlets by themselves. They are using Sway, they are using Adobe Spark and all other digital tools. So this was the start, the sort of a basic elements, how to use a digital tool, how to use, for example, your own smartphone to study and to create content that would help you remember and learn things. So after using this Padlet as a group or as a pair, they know how it works and they can create content, but they also can return to the content while they are in kitchen later in their studies. And this is quite fast and easy to start. So teacher can create a Padlet wall. Of course, if students are quite advanced, they can also use their own login information and make their own Padlet walls, as Sanna's students are doing right now. But at this point, a teacher created the Padlet wall and the students used it in their group work. And I can show you one of these first Padlet walls that students made. So there are a few, they are in Finnish. I didn't translate these because they are from students. So there are sort of memory boards, how to, for example, how much is 2 kilograms in grams and so on. So they have these that they can use also later in the kitchen. They can also make videos, for example, by themselves, as they are probably doing nowadays when they have more experience about these digital tools. So Sanna told me that this is really easy way to start with students. It's easy for teacher, it's easy for students, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything because you don't have to buy any app. You can use a free resource on the padlet.com or then take the app from your smartphone's store. So this is Sanna's caselet from using Padlet in mathematics. Then another submitted caselet from Vinicius Valente, who unfortunately couldn't also join us today. But his caselet is about use of digital augmented reality to improve learning experiences. So this caselet is on the history of international climate change policy. And Vinicius Valente is from Belgium and he works with the Association of European Renewable Energy Research Centre, EUREC. And as you can imagine, probably the content and the educational context, this caselet was developed for an environmental policy lecture. But you can use it in many other contexts also. So in many of our caselets, really interesting and important part is, and that's what we can also discuss today, is how you can try in another context and with different kind of student groups these same caselets. So the idea is that the educational context, that's interesting to know, but you can develop the method and have it suitable for your own student groups in quite different context. So this caselet is, the output is enhanced learning experiences. So the learning experience is really important, but also it's important to know the key facts over the history of international climate change policy. So we want students to understand something more thoroughly, and then we can use digital tools to enhance this learning experience. So there are quite many details about the educational context, but it's maybe the most important idea is that in order to successfully understand the global policies, it's crucial to know certain things. And in this caselet, it uses augmented reality application to motivate students to move around in one established area in groups, and then they teach and learn about these global climate change policy issues. So the caselet is focused on climate change, but it can be easily replicated in the other areas also, of course. So you can use it with kids or adults. It doesn't matter. You just develop the content of the method to be more suitable to your own use. So digital competence learning outcomes is of course always interesting when we are using some digital tools. So you can, for example, like in this caselet, find physical hidden information with the augmented reality app. And then you can save and share data. And these basic actions like saving and sharing something are quite important in basic digital skills. Interacting with technology is also a thing that you need in many kind of situations in your everyday life and work life. Context-related learning outcomes are, of course, also important when we integrate the digital tool studying to content we are in that subject studying already. So, for example, in here they identify the key issues about these themes and then describe the elements and trends for each period. So you learn both digital competence and you learn about the context and the main themes in that subject. Require digital tools. You can use any kind of free augmented reality apps. You don't have to pay, and you need only smartphone and maybe projector if you want to check out the augmented reality app together in the classroom. So not many and not so expensive equipment needed there. Then there is preparation, the main session and the presentation. All the phases that you do with the students. So first, teacher creates a digital map with hidden information and then uses augmented reality app to leave online some information or questions or assignments for the students to find. Then in the main session, the students are divided into groups and then they go around that area and try to find the hidden information and the questions and the assignments. And then while the groups are looking for the questions, teacher can add the sort of respective answer to Blackboard area, but also as hidden messages in augmented reality app. So the students won't get the sort of right answers at the same time. Then after the main session, students come back to the classroom and each group presents one theme from the subject. And then if you need more information, other groups can contribute to the presentation and you can discuss, and of course teacher can participate at that point also. And then you can also find the correct answer and discuss about that. So a lot of interaction in this caselet also. So this was number 2. Then there is Ursula Lammersdorfer. Sorry about the pronunciation, probably. Learning language using audio recordings. And Ursula is here with us today. Would you like to tell about your caselet?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much for the invitation. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. So my caselet is called Learning Language Using Audio Recordings. The aim or the topic of the lesson is being able to say one's address with digital support. It could be also other topics that the lesson will be transferred to. I want to say something about the educational context because it's the groups I teach students who learn German as a second language and who are also not literate in their first languages. So they learn how to read and write in German as well. So it's quite a challenge to establish digital skills with these groups. What we do, what devices do we need? My aim is always to, or my intention is always to use the devices that the students have already. Many don't have access to personal computers, so we mainly use smartphones. So in this lesson also it's the smartphone, or the students' smartphone, that will be used, and apps that are widely common, because from my experience, many don't have much space on their smartphones, and I don't want to install too many extra apps. So the apps are rather common. One app that they have to install is a QR code reader, something we use a lot throughout the course. Then we need an app to make a voice recording, which is usually pre-installed on the phone. We need an app to send voice message. We use usually Viber or WhatsApp, because that's what they already have. And the teacher needs a QR code generator. That is, for example, the website qrcodemonkey.de. And then we start, and the lesson is a mix of digital and analog tools. So we also use pen and paper. First, it starts with the puzzle of an address on large sheets of paper, which means, like, for example, the address of the course institute, and on each sheet of paper is, for example, the house number or the name of the street, and so on. They bring that in the right order, and we name the elements of the address. And then they do the same thing with their own address. I've prepared that before, and they stick it onto a worksheet. And at the back side of the worksheet, they will copy the address, so they will be able to write it. So it's, you can see it. It looks like this. It's the worksheet, and yeah, they will stick the parts of the address on the worksheet. On the back side, they will copy it. And then we go into a one-to-one setting. That is, the teacher will work with one person only and make a recording. The recording will be done with their voice recorder on the smartphone. And they will, with the assistance of the teacher, record the address. Assistance means I will whisper, and they will say it aloud. And so we try to make a voice recording, which doesn't have to be perfect, because the next step is to practice with the voice recording. And there will be a break. And in that break, like maybe 15 minutes should be enough. All the voice recordings will be gathered and uploaded into a cloud. And then we make a QR code and print out the QR codes. So we have QR codes on paper, take them along to the class. So we have like small QR codes like this, and they can stick the QR code on the worksheet. That's something we do a lot during the lesson. So they are already used to this system of combining QR code or audio and video with the worksheet. And then actually they can practice saying the address either in the course, and the next step will be at home, because one aim is that they're able to learn autonomously without it, not only the class, but also without the teacher being present. So they will practice that at home to really be able to say the address. And as a proof, they have to send a voice message with the recording of the address, so I can see whether they can really say it and whether the pronunciation is correct, and so on. Well, that's actually the whole lesson. It's quite basic. I want to just recapitulate the aims, because the aims are on different levels. It's digital skills, like scanning a QR code. One can also practice downloading an app, but doesn't necessarily have to be in this lesson. Making a voice recording with the tool some already know, but already have on their phones, and being able to send a voice message. And what is very important for me is also as an aim that they know that they have devices and tools which they can use for learning, so that they develop an awareness how to use those tools for learning independently. That's actually the main aim in this context, in this educational context. And on the language level, of course, being able to say the address properly. But it could also be another topic. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Ursula. It's really interesting caselet, and I really like the idea of the bring your own device, because it's really useful for students to utilize their own smartphones so that they know how to use them probably more in their everyday life also. So, and I really like the idea that everything is quite easy to use, and still you can address so many skills with these exercises. So it's really, there's so many functionalities, and still it's quite simple for teacher and for students. So really interesting caselet. Any questions for Ursula about the caselet, or any comments? You can comment on the chat, or of course open your own microphone if you wish to.
I think it's me, it's Heike. I'm really interested in this caselet as well. Like Henrika said, it's really interesting. I mean, it's basic maybe, but I think you... Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I think you really can, you address quite amount of digital competences by it. And so that's why I think it's a really good one, and I liked it. Yeah, and I still like it, of course. No, it's really good. And I would like to know, where do you work with? With what company?
I work in Vienna, Austria, in Integrationshaus.
Okay.
Okay. Migrants, refugees.
Okay. And so this is your target group.
Yeah, and we have already done this lesson, so it worked.
Okay.
Not only address, but with other things like saying the birth date and really basic information that you should be able to say to someone's understanding. Yeah, only one has to be careful with its personal information, like the address.
Absolutely.
Take down to the group, and because one other option would be to do like listening comprehension.
Yeah.
To listen to all the QR codes and then guess whose address this is. Something you can do in the group, but you have to be careful with personal information.
Yes, absolutely. But nevertheless, it's really interesting, and you can extend it, you can change it, you can verify it. So this is a really, really interesting. Thanks a lot for the contribution.
Thank you too for the comment.
Okay, any other questions about this caselet or comments? Okay, and of course you can read it more thoroughly from our blog, and then maybe try out and give some feedback for us, and we can also share it with Ursula then that, if you have tried and you want to comment it. Okay, then next is Hugo Anker Willemann from Denmark. Hugo, are you present? Okay, maybe we will go to Kiki Blixt and see if Hugo will join us also from at our webinar. So Kiki, can you be next one and talk about your caselet?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, so my caselet is about recording in Chrome. And the background is a bit that I've been looking for free tools to record my computer screen, and have used Camtasia a few times, but you can only use it a month, and then you need to pay for it, and you lose your material, you lose your videos, and that's a pity. So I was very glad when I found Screencastify in Google Chrome, which is free, unlimited in time. And you can actually upload the videos at YouTube as well, which is not that common, actually. And how to do it? It's very easy. You open Chrome as a web browser. You Google Screencastify.com, and you download an edition. It's not really a software, but It's an addition to the program, so it's very quick. And you get a symbol at the top when you've done it, a symbol of a film, sort of an old-fashioned film. And when you click at it, yeah, we can see it there, you got, well, it's easy. You just check your microphone if it works, and then you record what you can see on the screen. And that, of course, you have prepared a bit. You have decided what to record. And I have recorded introduction films for my students when they start the course. We got new students every 5th week. So they are quite new to the learning platform that we're using. So when I record, I talk about, you know, where to find things in the platform, and I show them with the arrow around. And when you're done, you just click stop, and you can see the video, and you can decide if you're pleased or not with it, and you erase it easily if you don't like it, and you'll do it again. If you're pleased with it, you just click the share button, and there you mark YouTube, and you upload it at YouTube, which is, well, you need a YouTube account, of course, which is easily made. And once there, you have an address to your video, which you can copy to your students, and they can click at it and see the video very easily. And you can embed it like very nicely. Then you get a picture with an arrow in the video that the students can click on. And that, I think this invites the students to the videos. It looks nice for them. And the pluses, of course, are that they can watch the videos many times, several times, and it's great for students with learning difficulties to listen, yeah, to understand the information properly. And they can reach it from anywhere, from iPhones, computers, from home, if they are not in class. And it's a great plus for teachers as well, to practice to be brief and clear, and to listen to your own voice and be, you know, a bit critical perhaps. So I've used it in to presenting things, learning platform mostly, but I've also created videos in Creatza, which is a caselet here in Digi4Adults. But in that program or software, you can't actually upload it at YouTube. You have to have your login at Creatza, and that sort of stops the students, I believe, to get to the video. If you can upload it at YouTube, it's very easily reached. It's reachable. Yeah. So you record your voice when you've done the Creatza video. You record your voice in Screencastify in Chrome, and then upload it, and you get a YouTube link as well. So I've used it for myself to make life easier for my students learning English, and but the students can of course use it on their own as well, since it's very easy to use. And they might, for example, record a slideshow, because the sound, it's a very good quality in Screencastify, so they can talk to their slideshow and then upload it as a video at YouTube. So it's easy to use, it's free, and it's perfect because you can keep your videos in a safe place on your YouTube account. Even if the software disappears or you need to start paying for something, you still have your material at one place. So I was so satisfied when I reached it, when I got it. Yeah. Yeah, any questions? Perhaps.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
I was also looking for screencast program for a long time and tried many, and I found one called Screencast-O-Matic. Do you know that? And do you know what the advantage of yours is?
Screencastify on what? On
it's called a Screencast-O-Matic.
Automatic. Okay. No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
No.
So maybe you have experience with the different screens.
Yeah, I used Camtasia, which is, I think the most common one, but it's, I believe it's more complicated. And when you've run out of time, 5 weeks, you lose it, sort of. You need to start paying. So this is unlimited in time, the screencastify in Google Chrome. So I believe that's a big plus. You can keep on creating videos without starting paying. So and the sound is very good. So I haven't had any problems, and it's easy to use for, teachers and students. It's very simplified, all the the instructions and everything.
Well,
okay, there was a comment on the chat.
Yes.
If you check about the quality of Screencastify, so it's the better than compared to Screencast-O-Matic. So that was a comment on chat.
Okay, great.
Okay. But I have used, Annika is here, I have used Screen-O-Matic. It's a very good, I think, because you have a link, so which you take to the students. So I think I like Screen-O-Matic. It's only a comment on that. Thank you.
And it's interesting to compare these tools while someone has really tried them out. It's really different to just try to check out what you can do with some app. But when someone is telling you that, okay, I did it this way and my students like this and that was really easy, so it's easier to take something and try out than just find a program and, okay, I should try to take this and check the information about what I can do with this tool. So I think this is really excellent example of something that you can really easily try out in your teaching with your students. And of course we have different kind of apps and tools for example doing screencasting, but it's really great example, I think, this caselet. Any other questions or comments?
It's me, Heike. I'm very interested in the caselet as well. Thank you very much for the presentation. I would like to know, because is it public on YouTube?
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
You disappeared there for a second. I didn't hear the last. Sorry.
Hi, Kiki. Thanks for the presentation. It's very cool, the caselet. And I would like to know if the students had to sign something if they are okay with the public YouTube video, or is it restricted?
You can actually, when you have created an account at YouTube, you could, if you upload your videos, you can choose between being public, private, or you can just share your video to the people who you send the link to.
Absolutely.
So they can choose that.
Okay, and how did you do it?
Oh, you just open your account and you click at your videos, sort of, I have the title in Swedish somewhere.
So, but your videos are on YouTube for public? You decided on that, or?
I think at the moment they are unlisted, meaning only my students can see them if I give them the link. But I can change that if you want to see it. I can change it to public, no problem.
I would be interested in it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there's a question in the chat. Does Screencastify allow editing the screencast afterwards, like adding slides or cutting the video?
No, it doesn't. Sorry. It's just one go. You talk, and if you make a mistake or something, you can't cut it out or anything. You have to restart again. So you can make several small videos. There is a payable, version with a fee where you need to pay, and I'm sure Screencastify has a lot of, opportunities there to edit the video, but the free version hasn't.
Okay. Any other comments or questions to Kiki? Karen is still writing to the chat, so let's see. And also Mari is typing a message, so we will see if there's a question. Okay, so with Camtasia, this is possible, but that costs quite a lot of more than this free app you can use. And wonderfully transferable caselet comments from Mari. So this is really interesting caselet, and I think many of our teachers, for example, would be able to try out quite soon actually. So we could still have some experiences about this too. And Susanna is also still typing a message to the chat, so we'll see. There's a discount for educational organizations in Camtasia, Karen says, but is it for all countries? You have to check that out. And Heike still commenting. Nice that you could join us. Yes, I agree. It's so nice to hear from the author about the caselet. It's not the same thing that I read the caselet or present it. So it's really nice, Kiki and Ursula, that you could join us. Okay, and then Susanna asks, is YouTube the only place to upload the videos? What do you think, Kiki?
I believe so, actually. Yes, I'm sure there are different possibilities if you pay your for an account yourself at Screencastify, but they only got the option YouTube. Yes.
Okay, so there's answer for Susanna, and maybe Susanna can try this out with her students
of course,
also.
Sorry, of course, when you got it on YouTube, you can copy the link and you can add that several places, of course.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, then
and this is what I think. I would have liked to say something. This is a good opportunity anyway, because you need not to download something. If you send it via WeTransfer or put it on the cloud or Google Drive, then you have to download all that stuff. So that's why it's really good to have it on YouTube.
That's
so
true.
we do it as well like that.
Yes. Then we still have one more caselet. Then we have all 5 finalists introduced here into words in classes for people with dyslexia. So Hugo is probably not present. Christina, would you mind telling something about Hugo's caselet?
Well, I haven't prepared anything, but I can try. I haven't really tried into words myself, so I will try to explain the basics. Hugo teaches he teaches classes for people with dyslexia. So he tries to give them tools to help them in the reading, both helping them learn to read, but also give them tools how to be able to do other classes as well using these tools. And he has introduced them to this app called Into Words, where you can use it to take photos of, for example, signs or pictures where you have some text that can be difficult to read or understand. For example, if you have a Word document, you can have your computer read it out loud. But if, for example, you have a sign on the street, you don't have a computer to read it out loud. And this is what the app can be used for. So you take a picture of a text, and then the app can help you read it out loud. So the app will read it out loud. And that is the first step of what he uses this app for. He begins with a text that they copy or take a picture of, and then the app or the phone or on the phone or the iPad, the app can read it out loud, so it can help them understand the text. The second step is that you can also use this app for editing text. So when you have problems reading, you can also have problems by saying when should I put in a comma or something. So you use this to read it out loud, and you you will be able to hear where you need to put in some punctuation. And also it can help you figure out where to correct to capital letters, for example. And Hugo included a text that he used for this session, and I tried to translate the best I can, because it's really difficult translating it directly from Danish, but I think I did okay. And they have this text, and they have to use a program to read it out loud and figure out where to put in some punctuation. So that's the basic idea. As far as I know, it's not free, so you have to pay for it, and I'm not sure how much it is. But that's it. I wish I had known. I should have prepared some more.
Well, you did really great presenting this caselet, and of course everyone can read it more thoroughly from our website. So
yes.
And maybe look into the words product information and about prices also. But usually we use in Digi4Adults apps and tools that don't cost so much, so you can try out. And not all other caselets are also with free apps. Most are, but not all, of course. Okay, so any questions to Christina, who is being like Hugo at this moment? Comments? Okay, we have had 5 really interesting cases.
So maybe learning.
Yeah. Heike, were you saying something?
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to mention that I think this caselet into words is also very easily transferable into another learning context, like the augmented reality caselet as well, of course. But this I really tried out a little bit before, and I think it's also very transferable into learning Deutsch, German as a second language. So it's maybe also a nice idea to try it out in this context as well.
Yes. And in our open call, we got a bunch of really interesting caselets. We couldn't choose all to be in the final 5, but we will publish the ideas in our blog, and I think there are many examples you can try out, and all these 5 caselets could be used, the method could be used in different contexts also. So I think these are really interesting to try out in different student groups, for example. So now we have heard the presentations, and we still have a possibility to discuss about the production of caselets, but obviously we now have one big issue to do, so that is announcing the winner of our open call. So when we evaluated all the ideas and the caselets that was submitted in our open call, we had this criteria with idea. So the general idea, how does it work, what the idea is compared to the subject that is learned. So level of detail, so how easy it is to try out, for example, with a student group, to anyone, to any teacher. Then the content integration, how was digital tools used in the subject learning. And then framework relevancy. And behind our project, there's this DigiComp framework, the digital competence framework, and there's also links from our blog to this framework that we have used. And I will try to show the criteria and the categories for the framework. So information, communication, content creation, safety, and problem solving. And you can find more from the web. So there's also a link to the framework. And this was the criteria we had while we evaluated all the submissions we had, and then we choose these five finalists, and have to say it's been quite difficult decision, because we could have chosen any of these 5 finalists to be a winner of our open call. But the winner is Vinicius Valente and use of digital augmented reality to improve learning experiences. So congratulations to Vinicius from our whole team. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us today, but we will send him some information about this quite soon after the webinar. But now the even more interesting part of the webinar, so lessons learned, and all the things we have had during the production of caselets, results, and of course it's really interesting to hear from all of our partners. What about Christina? Could you start and tell what have you gained from our project? What have you learned?
Well, I've learned a lot. I didn't participate in this project from the start, so I came in the middle of it, and after all the traveling and everything, so I had to just jump in and try to see what I could gain from it. And I talked with Pernilla, my partner, yesterday about it, and we talked about what had we learned. And one of the things we talked about was that we have a model where you work in groups, or not in groups, but in pairs. So you work together with a teacher from another country, and you exchange caselets. And that is really nice, because you are 2 people talking about how to do this, and learning something from each other about the digital tools that you're using. But we talked about, for example, in my case, where my partner was also a new person to this project. So we were sort of starting from scratch again when we met the first time. And one of the things we talked about yesterday was that maybe it is really good that we can work very close together, but maybe we should work together even more. So we may have to work in groups, because we can keep some of the knowledge of this project within the group, even though someone is leaving. And also you may have several people to talk to about different cases. So that's one of the things that we thought we had learned. But also, I've gained a lot of knowledge about new digital tools from this project, and I've been able to try some of them out in my classrooms. And some of them I still use, some of them didn't really work, because maybe they don't really fit into the context I'm teaching in. But I think most of the caselets that we have on our webpage are very easy to translate into different learning environments and different contexts. And that is a good thing. And also some of them you have to really think hard, how can I use this in my classroom? But that depends on what you're teaching, what lessons you're teaching. But I think that only makes it interesting, because you can say, how can I use it, and how can I adapt this to my lessons? So I really learned a lot from this.
Yeah, sounds interesting, and I think many of us have learned quite same issues. But let's go to Sweden. What about Sweden? Our Swedish partners, what have you gained or learned from our project, or during our project?
Well, I can tell you that it's quite the same that Christina says. I have learned more methods, digital tools, and I also got myself courage to use them in different ways, and I can change how you say it, but I can use it in many ways. I also think about that. You say, Christina, the group, the pair work. It's we could have done it in another way, because it was not so good when someone disappeared from the project. So yeah, I don't have so much to say, but maybe Annika have.
Oh, I agree with Christina and you, Nina, and I also have, that Christina said, I have learned much more which I use in my class and also with my colleagues. Kiki is one of these who I have talked to, and I have many others, and I have tried, and I have gone further, and we have a lot of discussion here with my colleagues, and we are working very much with different digital tools and we are not afraid to try in our groups. So we have learned a lot of it in this project. It has been very fun and very good learning. Thank you.
Yeah. Good to hear. Good to hear. I think we have had really interesting times. There has been a lot of changes in the personnel, the staff of the project team. So as you hear, it has affected at many ways, but still I think we get good results when you have more courage and you can try out new things. That's quite a lot. That's really significant result, I think. So it starts from the little things and little steps, and then we just go ahead piece by piece. So, okay, thank you from Sweden. What about Austria? Do we have Heike online still? I think we lost Heike. Maybe we'll wait.
I'm online again.
Okay, you are. I can't see you. Okay, that's great. Can you, Heike, please tell us what you have learned or gained in Austria, in Vienna, for BFI?
In fact, a lot. When we started with the project Digi4Adults, in fact, we also worked to implement, we also tried to implement a Digi initiative in the whole company, and it was really a good coincidence. Then this mission strategy of my company fitted together with the Digi4Adults project very well, and so there was this upcoming topic in the whole company. Jump on the topic, and we have to implement digital tools within the adult education. And I think it was really Digi4Adults was for the whole BFI really very, very important, and it's really interesting. Because whenever we have a meeting related to digital, then we are invited by the company, and so for the other trainers and so on. And this is a big honor, and also it's a proof that we really, that it's needed what we worked out and what we succeeded in implementing, and what we try to implement furthermore, of course. And so this is really what we realize that's important, and it's requested, and it's a value. And so therefore I'm really happy that I was on the project, and it changed a lot at my location at BFI as well, because we are working with Socrative. It's just normal, you know, we use it in the didactical process, like I don't know, like writing, reading or whatever. And so thanks to Annika and all the other participants introduced Socrative or Kahoot to us, we are really thankful. And it's just everyday life in this context, we use it like now. And this is really important and wonderful for us. And what we implemented furthermore is video CV. So because we work very much in integrate and reintegrate adults or young adults in my case into labor market, and so therefore it's really great that we can offer this opportunity as well. And we started also with not the, of course, with the devices our students had. This is a very important point for us as well, very important. And I really would like to point out that. But furthermore, of course, it got more and more we got more and more acquainted to that stuff, and so therefore we have got a really good equipment now. We have a video lab. So thanks to Digi4Adults, I just can say a lot changed in our company. So this was really amazing. Yeah.
Okay, and Heike, we are also really happy that you have been part of the project team, because you have done a lot. And you have tried out so many apps and tools, and it's really nice to hear about this importance for the whole organization, because then one project can also have a difference when organization is developing the use of digital tools and developing the skills of students and teachers. So really an excellent example of that also. Okay, what about Spain? Angeles or Fernando?
Well, what can I add that has been said before? I think the most important point in our case is that it's the first time that our center participates in a project like this one, and it has been a really interesting experience for our center and for our students and for the trainers, the teachers here. And we as a teacher have improved our skills with the digital tools, and our students have also improved themselves. And they liked a lot those days in which trainers from another country visited us in Spain, because it was for our students. Okay, they had the opportunity to work together and practice with the caselet, and the students liked a lot. Well, I have to say that it has been really an amazing experience for us. So thank you very much.
And it's been really great having you, and you have been really an excellent partner. This is your first this kind of project, and you have done so much. So I really hope you will have more experience with this project to the future projects also. But it's been really great to get to know your organization, and all the organizations we have are a bit different, and I think that has been also from Finnish point of view one of the things that we have gained, that we have a sort of view for another culture, another country, another educational organization. And we have noticed that we have quite the same kind of challenges, but we have different kind of ways to try to answer to those challenges. And that's why one of the best things is to share within the project team ideas and experiences. So that is one point we think we have gained. And of course, as already mentioned, the courage to try out new tools, new apps, and the ways how you can use these apps with students. It's not the app itself, it's what you do with the app. That is the most important thing. And I think that knowledge and that experience is the most valuable thing in this project, because you don't do anything with the technical tool. You have to have some kind of idea what you can do with students with that tool, so that it's interesting and motivating also for students. So these are basically all. I think we can agree about all we have gained and learned, that there are some similar things, and then our organizations have gained a few other things also that we can use in future projects also. Okay, so now you have heard about what we have learned. Is there any comments or questions for the project team, or from one partner to another? We are ending this project, so we are sort of thinking what we have gained, and we are writing blog posts about our experiences still during November. But is there something you would like to ask from each other or from our team? Mari is commenting in the chat that beautifully relaxed stance to digital tools and simply great, applicable to new solutions to enrich and facilitate learning. So I guess Mari is quite pleased, I hope, because Mari is the first coordinator of this project, and I hope I have been able to continue Mari's work as good I have been able to. So I think we have gained a lot, so therefore I think the results are really good. Karen is also commenting on chat. Thank you for presenting the caselets and the projects. Thank you, Karen, for participating. And I think also our project is really interesting. I'm really glad that someone else is also thinking like that, because everything on our website is open. This is an open educational resource, and you can use everything. So please do try out the caselets and let other teachers and trainers know about these, because they can try it out. We have tried it. Our open call submitters have tried their caselets, and they will be stored in our website. I think it's going to be there 3-4 years probably. I will confirm it before the project ends, but it's also going to be on Commission's result platform. So we have this project result platform, and we will also store them there. Okay, and Dörte Stahl is commenting that thank you for this interesting blog, and many thanks to everyone giving caselets and ideas. And thank you for your caselet idea. I hope it's okay. We're going to publish it also as part of our open call submissions. There were so many interesting caselets, and it was really hard to pick 5, but sometimes you just have to choose, and then the winner was maybe even more difficult after that. So here's the results. Any other questions or comments?
I just wanted to mention that you already pointed it out, that it is so important to you open your point of view, and you widen your attitude, your how you do work, and the everyday stuff. And it was so, for me, it was really it was fabulous to see how the other works in the other countries, and they also cook with water, but nevertheless to improve something or to change something and to take it with you in your own organization and try it out there, or maybe transfer it into another context. That's what I think was really important, to get this exchange, to work in pairs and to work in the peer group. And this is really this is the value, an absolute value, I think. So this is great, and it will still last. We stay in contact, of course, and we have our blog, and we keep it freshen, so it will go on.
Yes, of course, and we will, of course, also consider ideas for future projects after
Yes.
this one. So we are not going to bury our results, but we are going
No.
to present them in our blog page. And so please do follow our website still for final reporting. You will have there our experiences, all our themes and parts of our final report also, and the results. So please do follow our website and use the caselets even after end of November that we end this project. I hope the results will stay on and people will use our caselets and maybe develop them ahead from what we have had. Okay, but I think our webinar is now time to end. It's over 3 already. So thank you so much for participating in our webinar, and please do check out our website still for more about results and experiences and our caselets. So thank you all.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.